In last 24 hours, price has dropped. Even though the market looks bullish, dollar is dropping, news looks great, the market has dropped. Do you think there is some similarity in the past, or this is something out of the blue? Because if you do look at the price action, it clearly shows you there is something similar happening. Now, on a macro, if you look at Bitcoin, if you're just looking at last few months or a year, you would be in a panic state because the RSI is breaking to the downside. Now, yes, there should be some concerns, but at the same time, we should also be looking at this, which is 2021 Fib, where we breached the trend line to the downside in RSI, but then immediately went back up to retest. But yes, it didn't go higher, making higher highs in RSI, where the price was still going down. There is a bit of difference, which is still on the concerning side. But what's the overall outlook for the market, whether it's for XRP, whether it's for the altcoin market, or in general, different segments? We'll break all of those down here. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys get to learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. While you do look at the market, you should understand the fact that there was certain odds showing you the possibility that there should be some more downside. Not a big downside for sure. This is a chart which I posted like 2 weeks back for the SI family, putting an argument of ABC correction for the altcoin market because the RSI didn't reach that long-term trend line, which goes back into 2022 June. So it's been 2 years since this range has been active. Whereas right now, if you do look at that, it's about to touch that trend line after 2 years. So in between the last touch to this touch, it has been 392 days. So there are some positive movements in the market if you do look at this correctly. Now, yesterday we shared the thought process in the group saying, okay, this pattern doesn't look good. We should be watching this dropping to the support level first and most likely a bounce off after that. Yeah. First, you need to look to see whether we are dropping towards that support zone, because that support zone is important. If you plot that on the current chart, what do you see? You can actually see that the falling pattern of the price is active because the rising wedge did show us there is a possibility the price may fall, and that's what we were discussing. But what we do like to see is that the price coming back down to create a new reversal structure where you still look bullish. And this is what we are looking at. The odds are still there that the price can still come down to the support where it would be what, $565 billion in total 3, which is all market excluding Ether. Now, what would be the resistance when it actually goes back up? If you bounce back from there, the price action for the altcoin market would give you some relief rally. That's like a 20% move to the upside. Now, that doesn't show a huge move in, but we still remain in a pattern which is bullish. Now, what's the concerning side? That's Bitcoin itself, because if Bitcoin can do some crazy volatility, that will hurt the entire ecosystem. So now, last time when you had the negative divergence, this is one of the key differences which we should be looking at. The price was still above the moving average, even though we got the negative divergence. The price remained significantly above the moving average. So on a weekly chart, Bitcoin 21-day moving average. Right now, the price is breaking below the moving average. Now, you can actually argue that the trend of these two cycles looks very different. In one of them, you don't usually see the price breaking below the trend line. In the markup phase, you've been above the trend line for an extended period of time. However, in this particular cycle, if you do look at this, you will see that the price came below the moving average a couple of times. So there is a higher possibility that we are doing this phase as we explained in last couple of videos. But then if you do zoom in to see, okay, is Bitcoin shaking the entire market out? Are we about to drop huge? Because the fear, the panic, it's visible in the market. So yes, you'll have to zoom in. And when you do zoom in, the argument I'm making is the long wicks which the price action is showing us. When you do get long wicks, understand it's liquidity zone. When you have liquidity zone like that, supply is changing. Here, supply increased, price dropped. Supply increased, price dropped. Whereas at this point, supply was drained. Then the price went up. So on a 4-hour chart, Bitcoin does give you that idea that this range, someone is absorbing the supply. So the price wicked lower to 59,500 range and it came down a couple of times. But then it's starting to bounce. Now, on a short-term level, that level of price action is significant because 60,000 range to 59,500 is acting as a micro level of support. Now, not only that, there's some more key differences here which we should be looking at. This was a breakout, which now remains as a fake out. 1. 2, if you do look at this trend line, this is the path of the price action over last few days, last few months. Now, if you do look at it, we'll understand the fact that the price remains above a range of support for Bitcoin, which is very important for the entire crypto ecosystem. If the price action is showing you the double top pattern, which a lot of people are arguing, just like when we had the last segment, where the market showed you that's a possibility, it's not wrong, but it's still a possibility. But then eventually the price decided, no, it's a double bottom, not a double top. So as of now, what we can see is a higher possibility of a double top. But then you're watching hidden bullish divergence just like last time, which more or less means you can be watching at this price action. Now remove everything and think about that for a moment. If you are watching that the price is about to do this, most likely the result is what? The total measured move, which is not heavy, which is not super high, but that still shows you the price action can go higher towards 90,000. That's a very decent range for the price. Now, if you are the trend line guy and you're looking at the Bitcoin chart to see what the altcoin markets may do, we did break back in, fake back in last time as well, from where we reversed and went up. Or in other words, whales were showing you this was the pattern, it broke higher, it then faked out. Majority would have actually gone short at that point, keeping this as the target, right? But what happened? The price went upside. It started liquidating individuals. Now, why won't they repeat something similar? We had a breakout, now it's turning into a fake out. People may start going short. And when they do go short, thinking that the price is about to drop to 56, 57, And think about what if the price goes back up, respecting this range of price action, the support. Because remember, even on a 3-day chart, if you are zoomed out a little bit, the current price range which you're watching is the all-time highest range for 2021. So you're still staying above that as a long-term support. Now, come back to XRP. This trend line is still very active. We tried breaking that to the upside. We failed. We came back down to the trend line support. So XRP still remains here in this falling wedge pattern. Yes, the pattern itself is bullish. It usually breaks to the upside, but it's XRP. The amount of manipulation here cannot be underestimated. And right now, when the price is remaining below the moving average on a daily, on a 3-day, on a weekly, we would like to see a reversal signal, or else someone is going to dump on us. It's the first week of the month. And we know what happens. A lot of supply comes in, they take some back, put it in their escrow, but still you'll have 100 to 100 million XRP in the market. So we like to see big amounts being purchased. 50 million, 100 million, 200 million, a billion. If those kind of purchases are coming back into the market, then it's strong. It's okay. Now look at the altcoin market. The ABC structure is now tilting. The market is showing you the ABC that can be playing out. And for that, the support is still another 10% lower. That's the hard part. Now, if you are panicking listening to that, think about what the market did last time. There is a possibility like that as well. So where would that shift happen? You don't have 10% for that particular shift. For that move to come into the market, you need to see the price dropping another 5% or close to that, but then bouncing back up. Now, why would I say 5%? Because that's the long wick range which we should not breach, or the candle close should be above it. A weekly candle holding on to that particular level is going to be very much interesting, because that would highlight the April 8th weekly candle is still the mother candle, is still the price action range. So whatever happened back in that week of April 8th is still the same. The price went down to 555 billion. It came up to 772 billion. Now the price action is in between that for few months. So the range has not been broken to the downside or to the upside. The moment you see a break, yeah, that's your direction for at least the short term. If it's a weekly break, if it has a lot of volume, that's the direction. So follow that, and it's going to be really hard, and we're going to follow each and every movement which the market is giving. Because on the other side, the argument is the dollar, because the crypto you're trading is most likely trading against dollar, USDT, USDC, whatever. And if dollar itself is getting hammered, at least to the micro level of this support, you will watch crypto holding. Now, if you don't understand that as a pattern in dollar terms, what you do see here, which you cannot deny, is lower high formation. That means the price can come back down to a trend line or to form a new higher low. We'll see whether it's going to form a higher low or a lower high, but we'll wait to see what the market gives us. Because the amount of liquidity on a short term entering into the crypto market shows you something is happening, someone is buying. But the panic will always be there. The whales, the financial institutions, want to create that fear, and that fear is what you're watching in front of you. So whenever the fear and greed index actually goes in that deep, you know one thing. That's the time where the market decides to reverse. When the market is in greed and in the extreme greed scenario, that's where the market would go down. So ask yourself, when the market is in a fear territory, which if you look back for last 3, 4, 5 years, you'll know that has been the local bottom. Especially in this market cycle, if you look at the early Jan 2023, that was the local bottom. The price went back up after a 20% drop. Again, at 25,000 level, we got something similar and we went back up. So arguing this time is different is kind of a difficult point, at least at this time. So shout out to Quentin for actually putting this chart out. And guys, if you received value, smash that like button. And if you want to follow these kind of updates at the right time before the market breaks to the downside, be a part of the SI family. Use the link in the description to join the group. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.